Cartoon Bendy brought to life. As we cannot be sure of which of these two theories are correct, we must look at possible answers for both outcomes. But before we jump into this video, remember to subscribe and hit that bell to be notified every time a new video drops. Let's begin by assuming that the Bendy we encounter is in fact a reanimated version of Joey Drew. There are many telltale signs pointing to this theory being correct, so check out my video on this for a more in-depth analysis. Assuming Ink Bendy is Joey then, what would his motivations be for seemingly hunting down both Henry and side characters such as Sammy Lawrence and Alice Angel? Well, to answer this,
how to make a house.
Turn our attention
Let's
to my
start.
Ink Machine theory, which assumed the ink machine harnessed the most prominent features of a person's personality and then amplified them within their reanimated inky form. For Joey, this would mean these personality traits would include ambition, power, ruthlessness, and a controlling nature. From various recordings found around the studios, we know that Joey had no problem replacing his staff.
Apparently, I didn't get the memo. Alice Angel will now be voiced by this Alice Panda. I when he said that.
Didn't care about poor work conditions.
It's dark and it's cold, and it's stuck in behind every single wall. In some places, I swear this godforsaken ink.
I'm trying so hard to place this carrot crop.
Illusions of grandeur.
There's nothing wrong with dreaming. Wishing for the impossible is just human nature. That's how I got started. Just a pencil and a dream.
There are also visual signs here and there which suggest Joey was feared by certain staff members, and also that he was very controlling when it came to the output of his studio. So combining all of these character traits and then amplifying them may produce a negative creation such as Bendy, something both powerful and to be feared. But this wouldn't make Joey, and by extension Bendy, an evil character who preyed upon the lives of others. So why does Bendy attack on sight, and to what end? Well, just
It's gonna be the
Joey
kitchen
wasn't a
just
truly
because.
evil person doesn't mean that after passing through the ink machine, he wouldn't then become that way. You see, if the ink machine does indeed amplify the positive or negative aspects of an individual, then a person such as Joey Drew, who seemed disliked, greedy, and resentful, would then embody a darker nature than the one they possessed when living as a normal human. Which brings us to Joey's end game. It is my belief that Joey built the ink machine as a way to both reduce the cost of making cartoons, while also pioneering a new form of animation by bringing his creations to life. If we also buy into the theory that Joey was sick, as evident by the wheelchair flashback, then again it is reasonable to suspect he would want to use the ink machine as a way of giving himself new life upon passing away, using his body as a vessel to reanimate himself as one of his own creations, and gaining immortality. You know, that whole God complex thing. However, he may not have realised that by doing so, the ink machine would bring out his crazy, controlling, power-hungry side to such a degree, and actually rebirth him as a literal demon. This also means that Joey may have been on his deathbed when he wrote this note to Henry requesting him to visit the old workshop, knowing that by the time Henry arrived, his body would be inside the ink machine and ready for reanimation upon Henry activating it. But what if Bendy isn't Joey at all? What if Ink Bendy is in fact Cartoon Bendy? I feel the motivations here are far simpler. If we look at the various cartoons featuring Bendy, of which we currently have two, Tombstone Picnic and Haunted Hijinks, we immediately see a pattern. In both these short animations, Bendy is portrayed as frightened and the object of ridicule. He is tripped up, scared off, and shown constantly running from danger in the name of humour at his expense. Now let's look at some of the Bendy posters. Hell in a Handbasket and The Butcher Gang, both which also put the dancing demon once again in harm's way. Bendy was, as a cartoon, forced to live a timid existence at the expense of millions of people across the globe laughing at him through their TV sets. Now imagine if you were Bendy in this situation. This is your existence. If, in this situation, you were brought to life, wouldn't you be hell-bent on destruction and attacking both the other cartoon creations that previously posed a threat to you, and also looking for payback against your creator themselves? The very person that caused you all those years of anguish. Based on Henry's audio log from Chapter 3, it seems likely he was in fact Bendy's creator.
On the plus side, I bet you characters I think people know of.
Which would go a long way to explaining why Cartoon Bendy is out to get him. And that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it, and if you did, remember to give it a like and subscribe for more horror related content. Hey guys, Super Horror Mike here, and in today's Bendy and the Ink Machine video, we take a look at the Butcher Gang and delve into an analysis of what these characters actually are. I'll split this video into two sections, beginning with a brief explanation of everything we currently know in regards to the gang, before moving into section 2, where I give my own theories on the subject. So let's begin with what we know. The Butcher Gang seem to be three quirky-looking villains that appeared in at least one Bendy cartoon from Joey Drew's studios. We see a poster appear throughout Chapter 3 for a cartoon titled The Butcher Gang, featuring a trio of characters we know are called Charlie, a chimp-looking character in a suit, Barley, a pirate sailor with an eye patch, and Edgar, a spider-like creature with big lips and fangs. All of these characters appear to look angry and upset, although outside of this we know very little about their personalities. The Butcher Gang seem to be toys brought to life and inhabit the Heavenly Toys workshop and surrounding areas as a new enemy type in Chapter 3. However, we also see these gang members have been cloned and have on occasion fallen prey to Alice Angel. She even tasks Henry with collecting their hearts. So Alice does see value in these reanimated toys, even though she seems very wary of them and at times disgusted by their presence. So why then are these hideous looking toys walking around the studios? They don't seem like they would be popular among children, and their designs in real life are far creepier and more warped than the relatively cutesy illustrations found in the original Bendy cartoons. Well, to answer that, let's take a look at one particular character who appears in an audio log from the Heavenly Toys workshop. His name is Sean Flynn, and this is what he has to say.
I don't be seeing what the big deal is.
Jacksepticeye.
So what if I went and painted some of those bendy dolls with a crooked smile?
It sounds like Flynn was a bit of a troublemaker with a potential dark side. He seemed to enjoy painting crooked smiles on cute and innocent Bendy dolls, and as a toy maker had access to all the tools and machinery required for producing Bendy merchandise. It is then reasonable to believe that Sean Flynn may have taken it upon himself to secretly produce horrifying-looking variations of popular characters while working in the warehouse, and these may have included the infamous Butcher Gang trio. I mean, can you imagine Joey Drew authorizing these things being made himself? No kid on the planet would want to unwrap one of these nightmarish-looking toons on Christmas Day. So now we know how potentially the Butcher Gang toys come to be, and why they have such a freakish appearance, we must surely ask the question, how are they alive, and why are they hostile? This would tie into our Ink Machine theory. If it is to be believed that the Ink Machine creates based on the personality of the original host, then in this case the original host would be Sean Flynn, a man with a twisted sense of humour and a dark side to his personality. So splicing that special ink with villainous characters like the Butcher Gang, based off a human template such as Sean Flynn, would certainly create something volatile to say the least. If you want a further explanation on how the Ink Machine may work, which may help you further understand this theory, then check out my video on the Boris clones, which I'll leave a link to at the end of this one. And that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it.
Next
and if you
video.
did, remember to give it a like and subscribe.
Okay. Time to continue.
Hey guys, Super Horror Mike here, and in today's Bendy and the Ink Machine video, we ask the question, why are there so many Borises? In the original chapter of the game, we came across Boris strapped to a table with his chest open. So, it was a surprise when we encountered a living, breathing version of Boris once again during the final moments of chapter 2. It was an even greater surprise when, en route to Alice Angel's lair, Henry and Boris encountered a room full of other Boris clones, all with missing hearts. Now, I've made a video recently explaining why I personally believe Alice is collecting hearts, and this was both to fix her broken one, and secondly to find a pure and kind heart that would restore her to the perfect form of Alice found in the original Bendy cartoons. Next, let's remember our reanimation theory, which explains the basic workings of the Ink Machine, as this will also be important when diving into today's theory about Boris. I believe the ink machine works as a kind of giant projector. With the right elements, it can splice things together and then leak out a living, breathing version of a cartoon character from the past. We see coffins all over Joey Drew Studios. These coffins include bodies which would have become the hosts, the basic framework, if you will, for the character the ink machine decided to build. Now, I believe the ink machine also takes that person's personality traits into account when forming the host. So with Alice Angel, we see both Susie's good-natured side and Alison's potentially more volatile and toxic side coming together to form a split personality. With Joey Drew, if he is indeed bendy, we see a powerful, corrupt and aggressive personality embodied within his ink machine creation, the Ink Demon. So when it comes to Boris, we may see more kind and compassionate souls inhabiting these clones. However, we do have to remember that in the original cartoons, Boris was shown to be dangerous and aggressive at times, as well as placid, clumsy and lazy. So with this information, it is logical to conclude that
Alright,
the
and
human
we are
hosts of Boris
done.
may
So
well
I hope you
exhibit
enjoyed this
characteristics
super long
of
video.